Hello everybody, welcome back to vlog day 6. Pretty sure it is, I don't know anymore. So, in the previous video we talked about I hurt my butt, which is now causing sciatic pain. And I know it's sciatic pain because it shoots down my leg and spazzes up my back, my glute, and my leg. So, I'm not the happiest at all. Because that means more rest, more rehab, slower progress. But, you know, like I said in the last video, it's better to be the tortoise than the hare when it comes to this stuff. But you gotta be a really fast tortoise. You gotta be a hard-working tortoise. So I'm working on all that. I'm gonna do a little bit of rehab. That's probably all I'll end up doing today. I mean, there's plenty of other stuff that I want to do. I might do some back work. I know the volume for working my back is really low this week. So I'll probably see what I can and can't handle and do a little bit of that. Try to mix that in after I do my rehab stuff, and after I do my rehab stuff and get that done, we'll see where we're at. We'll see if I can do any more. I really don't want to push it because this is extremely painful. Squatting University, if you see me, if you see this video, help me, please. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started. And first things first is I need my handy dandy little green band because we're going to do some side plank shells, which, as I learned, thanks to the stability and the activation of the piriformis, this should help relieve my sciatic pain, because I'm pretty sure it's caused by the piriformis. Again, do not self-diagnose. That is very dumb. Oh, that's mean. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. It's not dumb. It's just not smart. Okay? So don't self-diagnose, but I need this. I need to do some piriformis stretching, see how that feels, and then kind of go from there. I'm also working on my posture because it might be due to the old injury that this happened again, because I was too posteriorly tilted in my hips, and usually people have an anterior tilt, and that's where you get that hyperextension in the back. It's not good. So I used to always overcorrect, and then when I sat, I overcorrected. I'm like, man, I'm really stretching out. And then it kind of caused a problem where if I'm too posteriorly tilted, that it can worsen the symptoms. So I need to also do some core strengthening. I need to do some planks, some hyperextensions, and some dead bugs. And try to rebuild that core stability to see if it helps. But first comes first is I need to alleviate the symptoms so I can kind of start doing some stuff so I can treat the problem. And really treating the problem should come first, but I'm me, so I'm gonna do it this way. So what we're gonna do is we are going to move this out of the way. I have to sit down ever so carefully and gently, and then we lay back. We put our leg 90-degree angles over the other leg. Take a deep breath, enjoy feeling comfortable on the ground, because nothing hurts when you're on the ground unless you're down here too long. We're gonna grab this leg and we're gonna pull it to our chest till we feel it get real tight, which, as you can tell, that is like no movement, and it hurts. So we're going to hold this for a while, become friends with ourselves. We're just gonna relax. And also, the clamshells is to help strengthen up the piriformis. So if it is having some issues, I'm trying to relax it and give it a little bit of stability and strength. So I'm working both ends there to see which one maybe helps out a little bit more. So we're just gonna sit here and hold this, kind of feel it out. And then we'll get into some clamshells after we do this 2 times. So once you feel that muscle release, it's important to go ahead and add a little bit more tension. But go ahead, let it all relax for a minute. think about your life choices. I know I do. Take a deep breath. Exhale, inhale, exhale. Oxygen's good for the body. Reach through, grab again, and pull. So this feels great. I don't know if you knew that. It's wonderful. Also, thank you to my camera lady, my sister-in-law. Thank you. She's awesome. So helpful. I heard. Okay. Wow. Thanks. Nice. So now that we're adding a little bit more tension, trying to get it to stretch out. Oh, yeah, I really feel it there, so I'm gonna hold a little bit longer. Try to get that to relax just a little bit. I know I did this yesterday mixed with the banded clamshells, and it helped immensely. I didn't have any symptoms till later on in the day in my back, and my glutes started getting tight, and I could feel it wanting to pinch if I moved wrong. So we're going to call that good for stretching. Take a deep breath. Inhale, exhale. Feel everything pop as we move. Sit up. Get up like we're really old. Because proper form and all that. So this band's really big. I'm hoping to get some smaller bands and some regular bands in the foreseeable future, but we have to twist it and loop it over again, so it's going to be twice as thick if you don't have the thicker bands, so this will work just fine. You'll have to use these according to how much you can handle. That's why I have a lighter one. It's because I've never done clamshells before. So we're going to slip into something a little comfortable here, and off of what I've researched and what I found out, make sure to add the stability and the strength from the side of the piriformis is that the injured side needs to be the one that's on the ground. In all actuality, it might not make the hugest difference, but it is what I saw kind of correlate heavily with the affected side is the one that is on the ground, kind of taking the full load, not just the load of the fan. So we're gonna get down here a little different because it's kind of hard. My legs are banded together. So we're gonna set up like we're doing a kneeling side plank, put our feet together, and then we're gonna open up the clamshell, 5 seconds. I don't know how many it was. We're gonna repeat this 5 times and do 2 sets. Oh, it's really starting to burn. We got one more set, but I'm tired. I've never done these before. Realistically, I should probably use a lighter band, but we're here. We're here now. All right, so we're gonna do 2 sets of that. So we're just gonna kind of sit here crisscross applesauce, but not well. You know, kind of feels silly. One thing that I've learned, especially over the past year, working with a lot of other fitness professionals, boxers, wrestlers, collegiate powerlifters, years of experience, brand new and old, education and experience based, huge people, small people, everything in between, even a professional marathon runner. It's important that you do the tiny things, because those tiny things can really enhance your time when you're at the gym. More muscle recruitment, safer lifting, less likely of injury. So it's really important to do those smaller things. It makes, honestly, the biggest difference. Of course, don't get so caught up in the small things that you don't progressive overload, you don't work under time under tension, and that you still maintain proper form and you monitor your volume, and of course, good sleep, good diet, good water intake. So it's important to balance everything that you're doing, because if you don't, then something's going to fall off, and that will lead to some sort of issue down the line. I know I wasn't doing the proper small stuff over the past several weeks. I was kind of trying to cram everything in, and so I would cut stuff out because I felt like I didn't have enough time, because the time between my sets got longer and longer, and I got more and more fatigued, and I just felt tired. Realistically, I was probably just overtraining, but I didn't feel like I had very high volume on anything, so I was like, it's not bad. Realistically, the weather's changing. I could have just been getting a little bit of a head cold. I know a couple videos ago I was talking about that I felt pretty sick, so it could have been all that, but it could have been a lot of things. I still know that I'm dialing in on my diet, getting everything tracked. It's got some work to do, but don't we all? Whew. Yep, yeah, I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm gonna lay here. Just kidding. Oh. So, you know, there's a lot of great information out there, and the biggest issue when it comes to navigating that information, using it properly, is that a lot of these people give really good information with no context, and so some people start applying stuff to stuff that it wasn't meant to go together, or they're just using it wrong. They're not really maximizing their time or efficiency or effort when they're in the gym, or just weightlifting or out and about, or in their diet, daily activity, or sleep. So it's important to remember the context of what the information is in, and it can make all the difference. It can make a huge difference. And sometimes people get really innovative, hear one good principle or cue or bit of information, and they apply it to something completely different that no one else thought about, and all of a sudden they reinvented something. So yeah, I think that's it. Now I'm just counting one more. I'm not a weenie. So we got one more. I'm tired. But rehab work is important. I want to get back to squatting and deadlifting. Right now I can definitely tell you I'm not going to be doing those for a hot minute. All right, one more. Oh, that's good enough, that's for sure. Time to slip out of my comfy clothes. Oh my goodness. Woo. Not gonna lie, my back feels a lot better. So I do think it is a mixture of just kind of strengthening and stabilizing the piriformis. I do think that is what I heard the other day that's causing all the sciatic pains, my piriformis. I know that there are 4 or 5 other muscles just deep of that, and they all are just below or right above the sciatic nerve. So I know that I had felt the pull on the left side, and then after that all the problems started coming. So I haven't seen any bruising or anything, so I don't think I tore anything. I think I just pulled it or strained it. Either way, it's inflamed, it's causing some other issues, so I need to address it. So until it's a little inflamed, it's a little angry, but that's all right. All right, so first exercise is we're gonna do some lat pull downs. We're gonna go pretty wide and really just pull with our elbows. Make sure that we keep a nice more than 90-degree angle at the arm, because we don't want to flex the bicep. I'm not trying to emphasize the biceps too much here. And of course, we're going to keep a nice pronated grip. Supinated, pronated, yeah. And pronated grip will also help decrease bicep activation. I really just want to focus on my lats here, and we're going to try to let it go all the way up and all the way back down. If I'm getting tired, I'll start partial repping. But you know, that's how the problem guys, it's okay. All right, so we're gonna let it go all the way up. I don't have a whole lot of weight on here, so we're just gonna really focus on the control here and really feel it in the lats. So I like to internally rotate the arms just a little bit, draw those arms down, draw the elbows down specifically, roll them down. It really burns. You know, a lot of people say that the burn is one thing or the other. Sometimes they say it's lactic acid. Some say it's magic because it feels so good. I say it's a sign that you're pushing just a little bit, pushing into the burn. Soreness, on the other hand, when people are like, yeah, you got so much lactic acid, it's just hurting so bad. It's actually more of the micro damage that happens with the muscle fibers that leaves you sore, and that's where the soreness comes from. It's not lactic acid, despite popular belief. Brain's a bit fuzzy, but anyway, soreness, not lactic acid. Micro muscle damage that will heal up and you'll be stronger than ever. It burns just a little bit every time. So we got one more set of this, and then we're gonna do some shrugs and some rows. That way we can kind of focus on that upper back just a little bit, and shrugs because I want bigger traps, I want a thicker neck. And soon, once my back's better, I'm gonna start incorporating neck exercises. Oh, it'll be fun, it'll be fun. Different, but fun. I want a nice thick neck. Strong neck, either way. So, just kind of one of those things. Also, unlike me right now with my water too far away, it's good to make sure that you stay plenty hydrated. Thank you. Thought she was gonna hurt me there for a minute, guys. Oh my god, she's trying to kill me! Do you see that? She did that little force pinch. Like, ah. That's what happened, guys. Send help. Oh my god. Alright. That's it. Use a lot of momentum there at the end. Still want to try to get as much range of motion as possible when I'm going through it, and realistically I think I have a little bit more mind over matter to uncover to kind of push through the burn, see how many more I can get till I get those real small partial reps. But then again, I'm not really trying to do bodybuilding, so Chef Boyardee, I mean bonjour. So now next one. And because again, because my back and I don't want to hyperextend or overly flex, what we're gonna do is take a lot of the stability out with doing wide rows, because I'm gonna do wide rows, really focus on scapular retraction, and probably a little scapular depression too, is I wanna build an upper back, but I wanna take all the stability out of it using a barbell or a dumbbell. I'm gonna be able to sit down and do them right here with my lat pull down bar. I'm just gonna go nice and wide, and again, not heavy, just focus on the control, try to burn myself out, and then we'll go from there. So we got this lined up. Again, not a whole lot of weight, but we're gonna make it do until I'm back to feeling brand new. That rhymed. And of course, this barbell's on the back of my neck, so at least I know how far I can and can't go. Also, don't hold your breath like I just did. It makes you lightheaded, it's very bad. Make sure that you're breathing in between reps, and there's actually, you know, some science behind when you should breathe in, when you should breathe out, when you should hold it, depends on what exercise that you're doing. But you just gotta make sure that you stay plenty oxygenated. In other words, you'll get very, very lightheaded. And also, the lactic acid builds up. And a great way to help this pace a little bit quicker is make sure you have plenty of oxygen so it can bind to it and break down. So, yeah, weird breathing, I know. But now I feel better. I feel more recovered, because science. So, we got 2 more sets of this, and then we're gonna do some shrugs. We'll see how those go. Might have to find a way to kind of like support myself to take the stability out of that, so I'm not too worried about it. Either I'll use the hex bar, some dumbbells, or the barbell here, but we gotta see how my back handles the load, because I haven't picked up anything remotely heavy in like 6 days now. So guess I'm getting that extra week of active recovery, like I had mentioned I should have done 2 videos ago. Don't listen to myself, and I end up in this situation. Didn't actually get that tired on that set, but my throat and mouth got so dry. 4 more reps because I was a cheater. Now is how I'll make a man out of me. Did you get that reference? I did. Mostly because I knew what I was referencing. Well, I guess, you know, or sitting here waiting for the next set, you know, it'd be nice if you'd like the video, subscribe, and share it. You can comment if you want. That'd be nice. Get it out there. Let's make this cool, you know what I'm saying? All right. This ain't the series called Road to Pro for nothing. So, time to get back in. That one actually just kind of got hard. When doing rows, there's a lot of videos, a lot of people talking about different ways to target different muscles in the back, you know, wide barbell row, great way to build a strong upper back. But really you want a wide grip, keep those elbows up pretty high. The lower they are, the more lats it is. I know that when I go real wide, depending on if I've done all my small work like I mentioned, I'll really feel wide rows in my teres major, teres minor. Which if you ever look at bodybuilders and they're like flexing, they're just kind of standing there with their arms down, they're kind of just moving around, you'll see this like muscle that looks like a tennis ball, and it's those. And if you think I'm wrong, I double checked anatomy charts and that's exactly where the tennis ball muscle is. So if it's not the teres major, teres minor, you tell me what it is and then we'll talk. If you say it's the rear delt, no, the rear delt is up and over just a little bit, depending on which side you look at. So I can feel it there a lot, but I really try to focus on letting my shoulders go forward to stretch my shoulder blades out, and then I contract my shoulder blades back, and I give them a nice squeeze, really work the mid-trapezoid and mid-trapezoid and the rhomboids, and that way you can get a nice thick looking back. Plus, working the smaller muscles right behind the rear delt also really helps give you that appearance of a really broad upper back. So, how many sets was that? Is that 2 or 3? Yeah, it's probably 3. 5 more just for fun though. I don't think that's 5. Oh, all right. So now we just got to figure out whether I'm gonna do dumbbell, barbell, or hex bar. Which realistically at this point, whatever's safe and stable is what I'm gonna do. So I'll probably try dumbbell first, because if the dumbbells work just fine, or if they're not quite great, I could just rest my head on something and get a slight lean over so I can really get a great contraction on the upper traps. So I'm gonna squeeze by. I'm gonna grab these. We're gonna hope for the best. Make me mad. Now, relatively, those aren't heavy to shrug in the slightest. I'm really just trying to make sure they go down nice and far to get a really good stretch, and I squeeze extra hard at the top. You know, that little saying I heard Sam Solik say on one of his videos, that, you know, the muscles don't care how much weight it actually is, they care about how much they feel it is. If I said it right. So I'm just trying to make that feel really heavy, because I don't know if my lower back can handle really heavy. I know my muscles can, but I don't know if my back can. So we're gonna give this another go. I mean, that was 18, 22 reps, somewhere in there. And by the end of it, it was just kind of burning. Of course, my breathing makes it seem like it's a lot harder, but it's not. Don't bleed the height. that one actually burned. It actually burned a lot. Do I look bigger yet? Yeah, I'm not a poser. I'm not a bodybuilder. At one time, when I was younger, and I think this is where a lot of people, you know, they kind of get mixed up in their goals, is they're like, I'm not a bodybuilder, but everything they do is derived off of bodybuilding content. So they're like, yeah, I do these 4 variations of curls. I hit curls real heavy. I do this and that. And well, how many reps do you do? I go like 8 to 10, maybe 12 sometimes. It's more hypertrophy based, so you're gonna build more muscle on that. Or just other lifting advice that does correlate with bodybuilding, like using D handles or ropes when it comes to tricep extensions, because you get a great range of motion. It feels great. But again, it's to get that range of motion, because really, if you're going for strength and power, you're not gonna be really necessarily, I mean, you can, and a lot of people do. They're not gonna be focusing on like super duper range of motion and keeping the muscle under constant tension and really tempoing their reps. And I know saying that, there's already a large group of people who are like, well, I do that. And you can. There's a lot of people who do that. But, you know, for the most part, if you're going for strength or power, you need something with a lot of stability, so you can just focus on the power drive. And then you do stability work after or before, or just during a different microcycle or mesocycle of training. So, you know, depending on what you're training for, the implement can make a massive difference. So when you're training with a purpose, make sure your rep schemes, your volume, your sets, everything like that, the weight, and then the modality that you use is in line with what you do. You know, if you try to do strongman, you're training for Atlas stones, but all you're doing is going over there and curling 75s, you're missing the point. You're not like, oh, if my arms are stronger, you just pick it up. But you're forgetting the posterior chain, the leg drive, the core stability. So even the grip strength, just to like try to grab on, which there's nothing to grab, but your hands need to be tough to make sure that they don't slip. Because then you're gonna drop a really, really heavy concrete ball on your feet. You don't want that. That's good enough for now. I need to rework my program to see what I can and can't do for the next couple of weeks. And then just slowly incorporating anything hip hinging. Stability-wise, I continue to do my rehab and add to my rehab to make sure that this is completely better, because I don't want to go squat and get to my top working set and all of a sudden be like completely dead, and all of a sudden my back twinges with a bunch of weight on my back. And I really don't want to deadlift with a whole bunch of weight in my hands, because, ow. I can only imagine how bad that twinge would be if it was weighted. So, you know, as always, thank you for watching the video. Thank you for tuning in. You know, thanks for joining the channel and supporting it. And if you have any ideas or any questions, you know, any training topics, nutrition topics, anything like that, let me know. Comment them down below, or just tune, you know, just be here for the next video, and we're gonna keep working towards pro. There's just a little bit of adversity, and we are going to continue to push through, get stronger, me be me. I'm just gonna be better than myself every day. So here's the next time, and I'll see you then.